Hi guys, and welcome to a video. It's been a little while, as you can tell by the lovely background here. I have been moving out. I've finished uni. I'm back at my parents' place. Been taking a few weeks to really get sorted. Before we get into the video, don't forget to like and subscribe if you want to see more. I'm going to be trying to be more consistent. Let's go. So what are we doing today? Well, Mercedes. Mercedes are a big talking point at the moment. Their future and their drivers. You see, Hamilton, 2-year contract, seems pretty sorted right now, and it very much seems like Russell is going to get announced for Silverstone to take over from Bottas. Either way, even if he doesn't, it's going to happen at the end of the season. But there is a question that we are not really asking ourselves right now, and it's a question we should. And that question is, at the end of that 2-year contract with Hamilton, who partners Russell? Who does it? That's what we're going to look into today. So what are our options? Well, there is a pretty clear first option here. A pretty boring one, a pretty sad one, and that is that Hamilton renews again. He is 39 at that point though, at the end of 2023. It's only 2 years away. He's quite old now. 39, struggling against a really fast young new racer in Russell. I can't see him staying on. I think he might either go to a lower team in the way that someone like Kimi does, or he just retires already. He's done so much for the sport. I don't know how long he'll stay after that contract. Well, if he goes, who are we going for? Well, let's be honest. If Mercedes are at where they're at right now, I think the whole of the grid want that seat, and so does the whole of F2 and F3 and so on. But who's realistic for it? Who can really nail down that seat and be the second man to Russell, or even compete with Russell for that championship? Well, I think we start a bit lower down. We start looking at the lower formulas. I don't think any of the F2 or F3 guys in 2 years are going to be there ready for that seat. You know, Théo Pourchaire, he's probably the most talented man down there right now. I don't think he will be ready for that seat. Piastri looks very fast. Again, I don't think in 2 years he's ready to take on a top seat. And then the Mercedes Juniors. Let's have a look at them. So in karting, we've got Antonelli, we've got Powell, and we've got Cui. They're all going to be way too young by the time 2023 happens. We've got in the Formula Regional, we've got Paul Aron. He doesn't look as promising as I think someone needs to be to really get into that seat in the next few years. He could be decent in the future, but it's a very short time frame really. And the main guy in the Mercedes youth right now is in F3. That is Frederik Vesti. He had a bit of a weak season last year in F3 for the top team in Prema. But in ART this year, he seems to be doing alright. He's not quite Dennis Hager level. Dennis Hager looks like he's going to run away with the championship already. But he still looks like he's going to get decently into F2 next year. It's just whether he can then have a great first season, build on that and get into F1. Even then, I don't think he's going to be in a Mercedes seat in 2 years. So I think that takes care of the youth formulas, you know, the juniors. I'm very sorry to the guys in Formula E, and I'm very sorry to the guys in IndyCar, you know, Nick De Vries, Stoffel Van Dorn, Pato O'Ward, all of those, I don't think they're going to get the seat. I hope that 1 or 2 of them get back into F1 to prove that those series aren't just a graveyard. But to me, they're not going to get into a Mercedes seat in 2 years. So that leaves the F1 grid. Where do we stand? The most obvious option is another Mercedes Junior, one that made it into F1. Esteban Ocon. He has just signed a 3-year contract with Alpine, and Hamilton's only signed a 2-year one, so that leaves, well, an extra year for Ocon to be stuck in Alpine, though that can obviously be bought out if he's performing well enough. The only issue is right now is that he's not performing well enough, I don't think, especially not for that Mercedes seat. He would really need to improve a lot. He's struggling to Alonso right now, and he's struggled to his teammates before. Ocon needs a hell of a season next year to show that he will be worth that Mercedes seat. I'm going to count him out now. I'm sorry, Ocon. You seem like a good driver, but I don't think you're going to make it. So now we've got to look outside of any sort of Mercedes attachment, any sort of Mercedes academy. And the first driver that really stands out to me that could get in that Mercedes seat is Pierre Gasly. I know, Pierre Gasly failed at the top. He failed in the Red Bull. But he is driving so well for AlphaTauri. He is on an absolute blitz right now. If he proves that in another team next year, or even proves it another year in AlphaTauri that he can keep doing that, he can't stay in that AlphaTauri seat forever. I think it would be a big scalp for Mercedes to pick. I think taking it away from the Red Bull, taking one of the Red Bull juniors to compete in their top team would be a bit of a statement. It would be a bit of a fuck you to Red Bull. And that is what we'd like to see, to be honest. Especially with Alpine's seats seemingly already taken up by that new contract for Ocon. I think this is a big, big chance for Mercedes to sign someone that could very much compete at the top with Russell. Whether they will or not is a completely different matter. I hope they do because Pierre personally is one of my favourites. But let's look at other options as well. One of the most outstanding drivers this year, probably the most outstanding driver alongside Max Verstappen, is Lando Norris. A Brit, an absolute speed machine, destroying his teammate as he is. I think he's a worthwhile option for Mercedes. Him and Russell, a true both British team. He's a very, very marketable person. And he would be an absolute competitor. The only issue with that for Mercedes is whether McLaren get properly competitive in the next few years, especially with the regulation changes. This is their big chance to, lift it up back to like the late 2000s, early 2010s era of competitiveness. Lando does also strike me as quite a loyal driver. He seems like someone who will stay with McLaren as long as they're doing all right for a long time, and he really is proving himself very well there. He is, to me, a future World Drivers' Champion, but will that be with Mercedes? By far the biggest scalp they could get, though, is obviously going to be Max Verstappen. That would be a statement of intent to take Max from Red Bull and put him in a Mercedes. That would cost an absolute ton and would be very brutal for the sport. Let's be honest though, Red Bull are not letting him go without any sort of fight. He seems like someone who will be Red Bull for pretty much ever. And if he does go Mercedes, will he want to be fighting alongside Russell? Will he want to be very close for the championship? Or will he want to be that main leading driver role that he has at Red Bull? I think he'd personally stay as that one leading driver at Red Bull, pushing it forward. Unless Russell isn't nearly as good as we think he is, he's not the one. So that brings us on to one more. Bit of an outsider. A little bit of an outsider. And one that I could see happening. That is Lance Stroll. I know everyone might be a little bit confused by that. He's fast. He's a very fast racer. He's been performing very well for Williams, for Racing Point, now Aston Martin. And both of those are Mercedes-backed teams. They are Mercedes engine teams. The guy knows what it's like to drive a Mercedes engine. And he's bloody young. He is still like 22. Been in the sport for a while. And he could be a really good backup driver. A really good second driver in the way that Bottas has been for Russell. The thing about getting the likes of Gasly, of Norris and Verstappen is you're going to get drivers who want to compete at the top. Will Mercedes want that, or will they just want a man that hangs back a little bit but can support his teammate? That to me Stroll can offer without getting that whole conflict of being the main man that they had with Rosberg and Hamilton. He also provides the big money, and that could be very useful in the future. So that has been the video today, guys. But wait, there's one more. One more man. He's already driven Mercedes. He's got the big money backing. He's got the ties. He's going to be very good as a second driver. He's going to really get in the way of the opposition. He's going to piss them off. He's going to really, really hurt the opposition. And as long as he doesn't get in the way of the main man, he could be the perfect one for Mercedes. Who am I talking about? That's right. Future Mercedes driver, Nikita Mazepin. That would be a shocker. And on that bombshell, I think it's time to end. Make sure you like and subscribe. I will see you hopefully pretty soon. Next video will probably be in a week or so, and then it'll be really consistent uploads I'm trying to get. What do you think? Leave yours in the comments below, and peace. I'm just going to record a quick. Before we get into the video, don't forget to like and subscribe if you want to see more. I'm going to be trying to be more consistent. Let's go.